worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle work, promise keep, light in the darkness. Yahuah, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle work, promise keep, light in the darkness. Yahusha, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle work, promise keep, light in the darkness. Yahuah, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keep, light in the darkness. Yahusha, that is who you are. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Yahuah, that is who you are. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Yahusha, that is who you are. 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 You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. Yahusha, that is who you are.
Sorry, I don't know why my... So I'll unmute the the microphone, and it mutes right back up for no reason. Every time, it never fails. Interesting. Anyway, Shabbat Shalom, Mishpacha. I pray you are all doing well. Today is day 1 of month 4, the head of summer, one of the 4 seasonal tekufas, the heads of the 4 seasonal months, one of the 4 Noah days. Very important. So today we're going to definitely go over some scripture about these seasonal heads of months, more specifically the 4th month, because, well, we're in the 4th month. So, yeah, we're going to be going over that today. I know Marissa has a few songs lined up that she wanted to play for us. Excited for that. It's good to have a day of rest. Another day of rest, I should say, because, well, the weekly Shabbat is coming up here Tuesday, and for our fellowship, Tuesday is going to be very exciting. I know Sister Miranda, I don't see her here, but I know she is going to be presenting part 2 about the season of deception, and prepare to have your minds blown, honestly. Anyways, a Saturday Shabbat. Don't tell the Torah community. Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? It just so happens to be that, well, these 4 Tekufa months for this year will be on a Saturday. So, well, we have a Saturday Shabbat with all the rest of the Saturday Sabbath keepers. Anyways, excuse me. So let me start off by saying a prayer. Then we'll get into all this. I wanted to first start by going over Ezekiel and Amos and how those 2 verses prove that these days are observed like a Shabbat. And then read through chapters 5 and 6 of Jubilees. And it's going to go over and reveal the importance of these 4 Noah days and what exactly happened on them and why we should be observing them. So, let's see. I was able to tell my friends Shabbat Shalom today, right? Same here. So I do usually tune in to some Saturday Sabbath fellowship videos and things like that, because, well, it's good to listen to. So I was actually able to say, Shabbat Shalom today. But anyways, sorry, just checking the chat here. Your headache is gone. All praise to the Most High Yahuah, Barak Yahuah. That's awesome to hear, Sister Kat. And Shabbat Shalom, Hag Shemiah, Rosh Chodesh, I guess. I was trying to think of the terminology there, but anyways. Let me go ahead. I'll open up with a prayer, and then we'll get right into it. Ready, Callan? Father, Abba, Yahuah, I come to you in prayer to thank you for our fellowship today, to thank you for your days of rest that you give us, for revealing the importance of these 4 seasonal heads of months, for showing us how very important they are and what they signify. Just thank you for everything, Father. I can't show my appreciation enough for all the Mishpacha here, how appreciative I am of all of that, how this is definitely much more than just some other online fellowship. It has very deep meaning. And we come together to find your truth, Father. So please just continue to be there, guide us, and let your Ruach dwell upon us as we read and we study through these different topics and aspects of your word. I also wanted to say a prayer for those struggling through different trials, tribulations, burdens, stresses, hurts, pains, loss, whatever it may be. We're all going through it, Father. We're facing these attacks from the enemy. We need a hedge of protection. And we need your strength to be able to endure to the end and to fend off these attacks. I pray all these things to you in the name of Yahusha HaMashiach, and if it is your will, let it be so, Father. All right. So, let me share my screen here. So I was considering, because they do have like an audio version, but perhaps letting that play. Well, on Yah's scriptures, I'm meaning for the Book of Jubilees. But we'll see. Play by ear. We'll see how it goes. So, I wanted to go over these verses here. And like I was stating earlier, Ezekiel 46, verse 1, and Amos chapter 8, verses 5 and 6. These are the verses that are going to show these Noah days, these heads of months, are observed just like a weekly Sabbath day. So first we have Ezekiel 46, 1. It says, "Thus said the Adon Yahuah, the gate of the inner courtyard facing east is shut the 6 days of work. But on the Sabbath it is opened, and, excuse me, on the heads of the months." So every translation you're going to read, it's going to say on the new moons. That's not what it says here. The word is HaHodesh. This is a word used 19 times that they mistranslate as new moon. So it's on the heads of these months, these 4 seasonal months, HaHodesh, it is open. So not only, excuse me, does it reveal, like right here, so it says on the Sabbaths it's open, and on these heads of the months it's open. That's a big clue showing these dates are very important. Not just the Shabbat day, that's one of the most important ones, but these 4 seasonal heads of months as well. And we'll go over that when we read Jubilees as well, because the same word HaHodesh is also mistranslated in the Book of Jubilees as new moons. So it's just mistranslations all over the place. But I digress. Let me continue. So then we have Amos chapter 8, verses 5 and 6. So this says, saying, "When does the head of the months," again, HaHodesh, not new moon, pass, so that we sell grain, and the Sabbath, so that we trade our wheat, to make the ephah small and the shekel large, to falsify scales by deceit, to buy the poor for silver, and the needy for a pair of sandals, and sell the chaff of the wheat." So again, this is showing us on these heads of months, they're complaining, asking, when is this going to pass so we can sell our grain and things like that? Because there's no buying and selling on these heads of months, because it's observed just like a Shabbat. It's really remarkable. And it's these 2 verses that really, give credence to them being a Shabbat. Because I know before we were trying to look into it and study it and find out if they actually are observed as a Shabbat or not. And they are. 100% they are. So next I want to read Jubilees chapter 5 and 6 here. And this is going to go over these 4 Noah days and their importance and what they signify. And if you didn't know, they're going to signify, well, the events that happened during the flood. So let's just get into it. Excuse me. So Jubilees chapter 5. And it came to be when the children of men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the daughters were born to them, that the messengers of Elohim saw them on a certain year of this Yobel, that they were lovely to look upon. And they took themselves wives of all who they chose, and bore unto them sons, and they were giants. So right off the bat, we already see the correlation with the book of Enoch here, describing how it's these fallen angels that took human wives and bore these giants as offspring. And lawlessness increased on the earth, and all flesh corrupted its way. Alike, men and cattle and beasts and birds, and all that walk on the earth, all of them corrupted their ways and their orders, and they began to devour each other, and lawlessness increased on the earth, and every imagination of the thoughts of men was only evil continually. And Elohim looked upon the earth, and see, it was corrupt, and all flesh had corrupted its orders, and all that were upon the earth had wrought all kinds of evil before his eyes. And he said, I shall destroy man, and all flesh upon the face of the earth, which I have created. But Noah found favor before the eyes of Yahuah. And against the messengers who he had sent upon the earth, he was exceedingly wroth. And he gave a command to root them out of all their reign. He commanded us to bind them in the depths of the earth. And see, they are bound in the midst of it and are kept separate. So again, just some more correlation here with the book of Enoch, because we see in the book of Enoch that the messengers, the angels, and their offspring were condemned. Well, the angels themselves were condemned in the depths of the earth. Their offspring were condemned to have no place in the heavens or in the depths. So they're trapped on this realm with us here. This is what the demons are. And against their sons went forth a command from before his face, that they should be smitten with the sword, and be removed from under the Shamayim. And he said, your spirit shall not always abide on man, for they also are flesh, and their days shall be 120 years. And he sent his sword into their midst, that each should slay his neighbor. And they began to slay each other, until they all fell by the sword and were destroyed from the earth. And their fathers were witnesses of their destruction. And that was their punishment. Because, for example, being a father, if I saw my son here suffering the actions of my consequences, i.e. being destroyed, killed off, things like that, it's hurtful. So these fallen angels having to watch their offspring kill each other off in battle was punishment for them. And, they had to endure that, the emotions and things like that, because there's nothing they can do about it. Honestly, sometimes I feel the same way, but let me continue. So their fathers were witnesses to their destruction. And after this, they were bound in the depths of the earth forever, until the great day of the great condemnation, when judgment is executed on all those who have corrupted their ways and their works before Elohim, before Yahuah. Sorry. Again, here we have more confirmation of the day of judgment. This is when all these things take place. There's a lot of ideology out there talking about how, the great day of judgment, it's just, it's an allegory. Don't take it seriously. It's not something that's really going to happen. Well, we see it in Enoch. We see it in Jubilees. We see it in the New Testament. All these things. So, and he destroyed all from their places. Not one remained of them who he did not judge according to all their wickedness. He appointed for all his works a new and righteous nature, so that they should not sin in their whole nature forever, but should be all righteous, each in his kind, always. And the judgment of all is ordained and written on the tablets of the Shamayim in righteousness, even the judgment of all who depart from the path which is ordained for them to walk in. And if they do not walk therein, judgment is written down for every creature and for every kind. So isn't this interesting? So we see judgment is written down even for every creature and every kind. This just attests to the fact that, it matters not what our past is, what our bloodlines are. We all have the chance to turn and repent, follow Yahuah. When we do that, He will cover up our sins. He will blot them out. He will make them not be remembered. So it's something good to keep in mind. And, none of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, sometimes more than others. Sometimes there are days where we make more mistakes than other days. But the righteous man falls 7 times and gets up 7 times. That's what it's about. It's about that refinement. It's about following and having a heart for Yahuah and His ways. It's about dying to our flesh daily. It's a tough, narrow road. Sometimes it's very lonely. Sometimes, it can be seemingly overwhelming. But as long as we stay on that narrow path, no matter what we're going through, what the odds are, He will always have our back. He will always help us through it. And as long as we have that heart to follow Him, He will cover and He will blot out our sins. And of course, being repentant is a big part of that as well. Excuse me. There's been so much dry and wet heat weather here, a lot of pollen and dust in the air. It's causing me to have to clear my throat a lot, so I apologize for that. All right, let me continue. So verse 14, and there is none in the Shamayim or on earth, or in light or in darkness, or in the grave in the depths, or in the place of darkness which is not judged. And all their judgments are ordained and written and engraved. In regard to all He shall rightly rule. The great according to His greatness, and the small according to His smallness, and each according to his way. And He is not one who shall regard the face of any, nor is He one who shall receive bribes. If He says that He shall execute judgment on each, if one gave all that is on the earth, He shall not regard the bribes or the face of any, or accept any matter at His hands, for He is a righteous judge. So this is just reiterating, we cannot bribe or purchase any of this. We have to truly be repentant, truly seeking Him out. He knows our hearts better than we do. And the children of Israel, and of the children of Israel, it has been written and ordained, if they turn to Him in righteousness, He shall forgive all their transgressions and pardon their sins. Just what I was talking about, summed up in one verse. It is written and ordained that He shall show kindness to all who turn from their guilt once a year. And as for all those who corrupted their ways and their thoughts before the flood, no man's face was accepted except that of Noah alone. For his face was accepted in behalf of his sons, who Elohim saved from the waters of the flood on his account. For his heart was righteous in all his ways, accordingly as it was commanded regarding him, and he had not departed from any matter that was ordained for him. And Yahuah said that He would destroy all which was upon the earth, both men and cattle, and beasts, and birds of the air, and that which moves on the earth. And He commanded Noah to make himself an ark, that he might save himself from the waters of the flood. And Noah made the ark in all respects as He commanded him, in the 27th Yobel of years, in the 5th week, in the 5th year. And here's that. This is not new moon. This is on the head of the first month. Again, this is that word HaHodesh. If you look up in the Hebrew translation of Yobelim, Jubilees, you're going to see that same word, Ha-Hodesh, right here. This is what that very word connects it to what we just read in Ezekiel and Amos. But let me continue. Verse 23, and he entered in the 6th year, in the 2nd month, on the head of the 2nd month, until the 16th. And he entered, and all that we brought with him and all that we brought to him in the ark. And Yahuah closed it from without on the 17th evening. And Yahuah opened 7 windows of the Shamayim, and the mouths of the fountains of the great deep, 7 mouths in number. And the windows began to pour down water from the Shamayim 40 days and 40 nights. And the fountains of the deep also sent up waters, until the whole earth was filled with water. And the waters increased upon the earth. 15 amah, the waters rose above all the high mountains. And the ark was lifted up above the earth, and it moved upon the face of the waters. And the waters were mighty on the face of the earth 5 months, 150 days. And the ark went and rested on the top of Lubar, one of the mountains of Ararat. And on the head of the 4th month, the fountains of the great deep were closed, and all the windows of the Shamayim were restrained. So this verse here pertaining exactly to this day, the head of the 4th month. So on this day, the fountains of the great deep were closed up. The windows of the heavens were restrained, so that there was no more water coming in to cause any more flooding. This is actually, so let me continue. And on the head of the 7th month, all the mouths of the abysses of the earth were opened, and the water began to descend into the deep below. So this is where the abysses were opened up and the flood started to rescend. And on the head of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were visible. And on the head of the 1st month, the earth became visible. And the waters disappeared from above the earth in the 5th week in the 7th year. And on the 17th day in the 2nd month, the earth was dry. And on the 27th, he opened up the ark and sent out from it beasts and cattle and birds and every moving creature. So this is showing the events in the flood that these 4 seasonal heads of months signify. This is why we are observing them. And next in chapter 6, we're going to go into Noah ordaining them as Kodesh festival days to Yahuah, and them being recorded and written down in the tablets of the Shamayim as such. So, Yobelim, Jubilees, chapter 6. And on the head of the 3rd month, he went out from the ark and built an altar on the mountain. And he made atonement for the earth, and took a young goat and made atonement with its blood for all the guilt of the earth. For all that had been on it had been destroyed, except those that were in the ark with Noah. So here we see Noah is offering a young goat to make atonement for the earth. So this is exactly the same commands for these slaughterings and offerings that were given to Moses. But these are the same offerings and things like that to make atonement for all of Israel. So we see what was given to Moshe about all these offerings and sacrifices is just a reiteration of what was already in place, what was already there since Cain and Abel. We see Cain and Abel were offering offerings and sacrifices for atonement. Just a big clue there. And not a lot of people really take that into consideration because of the rabbinical doctrine out there that says, no, there was no law, there was no nothing going on until Mount Sinai. That's their claim. But I digress. Let me continue. And he placed the fat of it on the altar, and he took a bull and a goat and a male goat and salt and a turtle dove and a young pigeon, and placed a burnt offering on the altar, and poured an offering on it mixed with oil, and sprinkled wine, and spread frankincense over all, and caused a sweet fragrance to arise, acceptable before Yahuah. So this is just reiterating all the statements I just made. And Yahuah smelled the sweet fragrance, and he made a covenant with him that there should no longer be a flood to destroy the earth, that all the days of the earth, seed time and harvest, should never cease. Cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night should not change their order or cease forever. So we see all this order still continues even into the new kingdom once we get there. And you increase and multiply upon the earth and become numerous upon it. The same command given to Adam and Eve. Increase and multiply on the earth. And be a barakah upon it, a blessing. The fear of you and the dread of you I shall inspire in all that is on the earth and in the sea. So this is why a lot of animals, they're, deathly afraid of us as humans. They won't come near us. It takes raising an animal from like birth basically for them to get used to us, which is like what we see with domesticated animals and things. So you see animals in the wild, they're always running and fleeing from us. And that's one of the reasons. And see, I have given you all the beasts and all flying creatures and all that moves on the earth and the fish in the waters and all matters for food, as the green plants, as I have given you all matters to eat. So we see a similar statement made in Genesis. This is it's a contextual statement. So he's making the statement here. It's going to be cleared up later on as we read. So this isn't saying, oh, we can just eat everything. We can eat vultures and rats and mice and, pigs, all that stuff. That's not what's being said here. It's just a quick summary statement that will then go into more detail, like such as in the book of Leviticus, where it gives the clean, the unclean, things we are able to eat, things we're not able to eat. So it's really a contextual statement being made here, not a matter of fact that, well, I give you all this stuff to eat, just eat everything. So verse 7, but flesh with its life, with the blood, you shall not eat. For the life of all flesh is in the blood, lest your blood of your lives be required. At the hand of every man, at the hand of every beast, I shall require the blood of man. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood be shed. For in the image of Elohim he made man. So here we're getting into more detail. It's men's blood you shall not shed. It says nothing about the animals and things like that. So again, the book of Jubilees debunks the whole eating meat is a sin doctrine. The whole, they didn't have sacrifices and offerings. The whole, when it says you shall not murder, they try to include animals into that. Well, no, it's only talking about men. And you increase and multiply on the earth. And Noah and his sons swore that they would not eat any blood that was in any flesh. And he made a covenant before Yahuah Elohim forever, throughout all the generations of the earth, in this month. So here we see, again, the mention of a covenant being established forever. On this account he spoke to you, that you should make a covenant with the children of Israel in this month, upon the mountain, with an oath, and that you should sprinkle blood upon them because of all the words of the covenant, which Yahuah made with them forever. So again, this is a messenger angel speaking to Moshe. He's telling Moshe that, look, on account of this, he's going to make a covenant with the children of Israel, on account of him being Kodesh. And this covenant is going to come upon them because of this covenant that we just read about, that was made with Noah. The covenant that was made with Abraham, Isaac, Yitzhak. And this is a witness. And this witness is written concerning you, that you should observe it continually, so that you should not eat on any day any blood of beasts or birds or cattle during all the days of the earth. And the man who eats the blood of beasts or cattle or of any birds on the days of the earth, he and his seed shall be rooted out of the land. And you shall command the children of Israel to eat no blood, so that their names and their seed may be before Yahuah our Elohim continually. And for this law there is no limit of days, for it is forever. They shall observe it throughout their generations, so that they may continue atonement on your behalf with blood before the altar, every day, and at the time of morning and evening. They shall seek forgiveness on your behalf continually before Yahuah, that they may keep it and not be rooted out. So, right here where it says, every day at the time of the morning and the evening. So notice what's first there. It's the morning. It doesn't say every day in the evening and the morning. It says every day in the morning and the evening. Another big clue on when the days begin. And he gave to Noah and his sons a sign that there should not be a flood on the earth again. And he placed his rainbow in the cloud for a sign of the everlasting covenant, that there should not be a flood again on the earth, to destroy it all the days of the earth. 1 second, need some water here. Hey, Shabbat Shalom, Tracy. Let's see, who else is joined? Yeah, looks like just Tracy. All right, so let me continue here. So he gave the rainbow as a sign of his covenant with Noah, that he's not going to flood the earth again like that. Not to destroy it with a flood. So for this reason, it is ordained and written on the tablets of the Shamayim that they should celebrate the festival of Shavuot in this month, once a year, to renew the covenant every year. We see that Shavuot is a time of the renewing of the covenant. This actually also connects to the Dead Sea Scrolls, where they renewed their covenant every year. Why did they do that? Well, it's commanded right here in Jubilees. We have to renew our covenant yearly on Shavuot. And Kayleen, Shabbat Shalom. So yeah, I know somebody asked me a question about that actually. Actually, I think it was you, Marissa. But no, so yeah, this is why they renew their covenant yearly in the Dead Sea Scrolls as well. But let me continue. And this whole festival was celebrated in the Shamayim from the day of creation until the days of Noah. 26 Yobalim and 5 weeks of years. And Noah and his sons observed it for 7 Yobalim and 1 week of years, until the day of Noah's death. And from the day of Noah's death, his sons forsook it, until the days of Abraham, and they ate blood. So we see, as soon as Noah, he ended up passing, that's when all his children started going astray again. then we come to Abraham, because we know Abraham's father Terah, he was an idol maker. But Abraham observed it, and Yitzhak and Jacob and his children observed it up to your days. And in your days the children of Israel forgot, until you celebrated it anew on this mountain. You know, it's a similar context to like today. So since the time of Yahusha HaMashiach, a lot of these things have been forgotten, and it's because of the Roman churchianity influence and the influence of rabbinic literature and rabbinic ideology that has influenced Judaism, the synagogue of Hasatan. So those two things combined, we have now forgotten about these important days. And I'm not meaning like us as in this fellowship, but as a general statement, us as people. And you shall command the children of Israel to observe this festival in all their generations for a command upon them. One day in the year, in this month, they celebrate the festival. For it is the festival of Shavuot and the feast of first fruits. This feast is twofold and of a double nature, according to what is written and engraved concerning it. Celebrate it. So we see Shavuot specifically has a twofold double nature. This is why Shavuot is a high Shabbat, whereas the first fruits, the wave sheaf of barley, is not a Shabbat. And you know, new wine and new oil, also not observed like a Shabbat, but Shavuot is. For I have written in the book of the first Torah, and that which I have written for you, that you should celebrate it in its season, one day in the year. And I explained to you its slaughterings, that the children of Israel should remember, and you should celebrate it throughout their generations in this month, one day in every year. And on the head of the first month, and on the head of the fourth month, and the head of the seventh month, and the head of the 10th month are the days of remembrance, and the days of the seasons in the 4 divisions of the year. These are written and ordained as a witness forever. And Noah ordained them for himself as festivals for the generations forever, so that they have become thereby a memorial to him. So we see it's Noah who ordained them as festivals for the generations forever. Meaning we should still be observing these things. And again, it's rabbinical tradition and Judaism that have removed these 4 seasonal heads of months because it doesn't fit their lunar observation calendar. Shabbat, Shabbat, Shalom. And on the head of the first month, he was told to make an ark. And on that day the earth became dry, and he opened the ark and saw the earth. And on the head of the 4th month, the mouths of the depths of the abyss beneath were closed. And on the head of the 7th month, all the mouths of the abyss of the earth were opened, and the waters began to descend into them. And on the head of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains were seen, and Noah was glad. And on account of this, he ordained them for himself as festivals for him, a memorial forever. And thus they are ordained. And they placed them on the tablets of the Shamayim. Each had 13 weeks, and their memorial passed from one to another, from the first to the second, from the second to the third, and the third to the fourth. And here's the verse where we see there are 13 Shabbats in between each season. I know we spoke about this before, but this is where the number 13 fits in with the calendar. Not a 13th month, it's 13 weeks. Won't be on the call. You have a headache. Well, I will be praying for healing and a hedge of protection for you, Tabitha. But as we've read, these 4 Noah days, these ordained heads of the seasonal months, they're observed like a Shabbat. There's a lot of importance and significance to them. We see it's written on the tablets of the Shamayim that we observe them for the generations forever. And so, let me go ahead and share actually what Sister Natalie had put together for us. Let's see, there we go. So what we see here is the definition of the word takupa. Takupa, however you decide to pronounce it. So we see, and by the way, thank you, Sister Natalie. Great job at putting this together with all your slides, really. But let me go ahead and read it. So takupa, or divisions, is the meaning. And on the Ra'ashon Chadash of the first month, and on the Chadash of the 4th month, and on the Chadash of the 7th month, and on the Chadash of the 10th month are the days of remembrance. Yom Zayakarun. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but and the days of seasons, or the Chag, in the 4 divisions, the Takupa of the year. So this is why they are called a Chag as well. So, of course, that was Jubilees chapter 6. We just read through that. So here's we have the pictographic, paleo, and modern Hebrew spelling of it. So Takupa means divisions, a circuit. It's from H8622, a revolution or course. And Ra'ashan, the beginning, the head, the chief, first. H7223. And again, the different spellings of that as well. So let me go to the next one here. I had to bring them up differently because when I tried to just click to the next one, it went to a whole nother picture that had nothing to do. Totally different subject. But anyways, did great on the pronunciation. Well, thank you, sister. All right. So here we have the head of summer. Sorry, just want to get my mouse so it's easier. So I'm not leaning forward. So the head of summer, the first day of the 4th month. And if we read through Jubilees, these are just some important verses to go through. So Jubilees chapter 3, verse 32, Adam and his wife went out from the garden of Eden, or Adan. Interesting, it happened the first day of the 4th month. We also have, what we just read in Jubilees 5, 22 through 30. The fountains of the deep were closed, and the windows of the Shamayim were restrained. We also have Jubilees 6, 23 through 26, kept as a remembrance day forever. Jubilees chapter 16, 1 through 6. The messengers appeared to Abraham at the terebinth of Mamre to foretell of his son. We also have Jubilees 28, 24, where Rachel bore Yosef. We also have Jubilees 29, 15 through 20, where Jacob sent substance, garments, food, and etc. to Yitzhak and Rebekah, his parents, on the head of the months each season. Sorry. It's pretty remarkable, all these different things that happened and occurred on these heads of months. Then we have Jubilees chapter 30, verse 1. Jacob went up to Shalom, or Salem, and Dinah is carried off to Shechem. We also have Jubilees 45, 1 through 4, where Yasharel, or Jacob, went into the country of Mitzrayim, into the land of Goshen, to meet Joseph. And honestly, that's some of these things were like, wow, really standing out to me. I did not realize that these things had happened on these heads of months, specifically the 4th. So thank you for that information, Natalie. Truly appreciated. So let's see. All right, Jermaine, Shabbat, Shalom, Chag, Shemayah, Rosh Chodesh month 4.
Good morning.
I pray you're feeling better today, sister.
Yeah, a little bit.
Awesome. Good to hear. Been keeping you in prayer for sure.
Thank you.
So, yeah, pretty cool when they start plotting the dates. It really is, and it gives a much deeper connection. Speaking of much deeper connections, well, I'm planning to do a cymatics and sonoluminescence presentation after Miranda's presentation about the season of deception. And if you watched my video I actually put together yesterday and uploaded it to YouTube, that's the video I'm going to plan to share, but there's a whole lot more information I want to cover and be able to present. And it's going to connect not only with Miranda's presentation, but Marissa's presentation she also did about this last one about the calendar. Miranda's presentation is also going to connect with Marissa's. Really, all three of our presentations are going to connect. And hopefully it will bring a better understanding of our point of view, what we can see through scriptures and what we found through scriptures. And to be honest, there's a whole lot of mind-blowing stuff that, it can be easily glanced over unless you're paying attention and specifically looking for it, Yeah, fire. Thank you, Sister Natalie. All praise to the Most High Yahuah, honestly. Without him, none of us know anything. We truly, truly all need each other. We're here to be our brother's keepers. That's literally the phrase of our fellowship. We are our brother's keeper. So it's really amazing to come together with so many like-minded, to come together to bring our piece of the puzzle to the table. And to be honest, I never imagined that we would have or gain or be shown this kind of understanding. And it shows even more the importance of putting that little small 10% difference we have aside and coming together in love and compassion to seek Yahuah's truth. Truly, truly. So let's see. And today, so I didn't want to make it like a super long, 2-3 hour long presentation today. I know it's a Shabbat day, but it's good to have that rest as well on the Shabbat. And I know sometimes fellowshipping for like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours, it doesn't give you enough time to rest. I truly enjoy it, but it's probably a good day to rest as well. So, I don't have much more to present. I do want to fellowship here a little bit more, and I know Marissa has some music she would like to play for us. But before that, if anybody has questions or comments, concerns, anything you would like to add, feel free. You are encouraged to do so, whether it's here in the chat or whether you open up your mic. And we are here to help answer questions. If you have any confusion about any certain topic, things like that, reach out. Especially now, we're here to help. Now is really the most opportune time to do so. I can address it immediately. But if no one else has any questions or comments or concerns, if you are ready, Marissa, just let me know.
Yep, 1 second.
Yeah, no worries. Well, much love to you as well, Sister Cat. It's really a barakov that all of you are here and able to join. Truly, truly it is. And it means a lot. We are truly mishpaha.
Jeremy?
Can't go now. Woke up. Hey, yeah. Hey, shalom, Brother Dwayne. Good to hear you.
Shalom to you. Listen, are you aware of one of the loony Sabbatarians' so-called proofs of Ezekiel 46:1? I can't hear you.
You're muted, Jeremy.
I'm over here talking while I'm muted. My bad.
You
Is that
better
the one
start
where
that
they?
one over.
Yeah,
go ahead.
That's the one where they try to claim, Ezekiel laying on his side is like signifying a 13th month, right?
No, what they try to say is, okay, if you read the verse, it's talking about and the gates will be closed the 6 working days, but they'll be open on their new quote unquote moon and on the Sabbath. And if any calendar has a Shabbat during the 6 working days after their first day of the new moon, then it's got to be a wrong calendar. But looking into that, it's this is a vision starting in chapter 40 of the New Jerusalem, and that temple that he's describing, of course, does not exist at the time of his vision.
Exactly. So yeah, that's actually what I have on screen here because we just covered that.
I know. The funny thing about this whole thing is that I opened up this morning at 46:1 because this friend of mine is trying to tell me that my calendar's off because of this verse, and so I got to looking at it, and it's even mentioned in the Dead Sea Scrolls that it's a precursor, I suppose, from the New Jerusalem temple. Although the Ezekiel temple, the way Ezekiel is describing it, it's not the same size at all as the Revelation rendering of the New Jerusalem. So I don't know where to go from here.
Well, I know Ezekiel specifically throughout these chapters here, like 46. So really it's 43 through 48. It's speaking about how the sons of Zadok were from then on ordained to, keep these laws, the statutes, commands, offer the sacrifices, things like that, not only in the earthly temple from then on, but this will also continue on in the New Jerusalem tabernacle, the heavenly tabernacle. And that's actually well, if you believe we're in that season of deception, like most of us do here, this is exactly what's going on right now. So this is why, we still follow the laws, statutes, and commands to a T. But everything that surrounds the Levitical laws, the sacrifices and things like that, that's actually what's being done for us in that millennial temple at the moment. And for those who try to make the claim, Ezekiel 46:1, that's talking about the new moon. Nowhere does it say new moon in there. And
No, I know it doesn't.
yeah.
It's definitely the head of the month.
Yeah.
So there was another question now. If let's say that they were right, then we would be celebrating 2 Shabbats within the 6 working days of their calendar.
So again, I meant to address that. Sorry. So work 6 days and rest on the 7th is not a calendrical statement. It's a contextual statement, kind of like we just went over earlier, how, it says, I gave you all the birds and the animals and things like that to eat for food, but there's not a lot of clarity. Same thing with that. The work 6 days, rest on the 7th is a generalized statement for most of the time throughout the year, because yes, that's throughout the year, that's mostly what it's going to be. We're going to work 6 days, rest on the 7th. But there are these Kodesh festivals we're supposed to observe. These festivals cannot fall on a weekly Sabbath, for example. So the reason why is because there are certain instructions and commands for like high Shabbats that are different than the ones for a weekly Shabbat.
Right.
So you may be commanded to do something for this high Shabbat here, but for the weekly Shabbat, it's going to tell you shouldn't be doing those things. So if your high Sabbaths and Shabbats are falling on the same day, you're going to end up putting one above the other and disregarding one to observe the other. This is why
I tried.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
brother.
I tried to explain this to this friend of mine too, but he wouldn't listen to me. So anyway, I don't expect him to listen. He's going to have to find out for himself. But so anyway, I just wanted your thoughts on that. Anyway, I'm still studying it out. I know that there are a lot of things that are kind of gray, at times until you really focus on them. So
Yeah, and it's just like that sometimes, unfortunately.
yeah.
And I know, especially with the moon calendar followers, it's hard to even talk to them or say, hey, look, this is what that means, because then they just go on with their nuh-uh. And it turns into something else. So
It definitely does. Yeah.
I think the
All
biggest
right.
thing with the
Thank
moon
you for that.
calendar, the
go
moon
ahead, sister.
calendar thing is, well, Jubilee 6 that we just read, that they were going to go astray. And there's proof that they changed from day start in the morning in the sunlight to the night during Babylonian captivity to follow the moon. And there's lots of, flags with their crescent moons and their moon worship. And I think that's even talked about in Kings. But, I mean, Enoch, you can see that the moon will always fall 10 days behind in the phases each year. So no matter how you slice it, you're going to have to add in that 13th moon month, whether you're on a regular moon calendar and a Saturday Shabbat or you're on the lunar Shabbat. And the lunar calendars, the lunar Shabbat, they also have Shabbats on the 7, 14, 21, 28 day, or they have it on whatever that is, 8, 15, 22, 29. Am I right?
Yeah.
And so that doesn't even work with when you map out the days of like the death, burial, and resurrection, or you map out the days in the Exodus story. It doesn't line up. Yes, some months you're going to have 7, 14, 21, 28, but not all the time. And so that completely blows it out of the water.
Oh yeah,
That's
completely
yeah.
understand that. You know, these they're so far off. It, you know, I just can't understand why he can't understand this. You know,
Yeah, no, I know how it is, and
And he's a lunar
you know
Shabbat,
it's
right? You said?
yeah, I believe he's a lunar Sabbath, Dwayne.
he's learning the lunar Sabbath. He's brand new at it. You see, I've known this fella for years,
Okay.
and we were on the same calendar when I was on a moon calendar over 12 years ago, and he wouldn't go with me because he was, you know, he didn't, you know, he believed that the Sabbath day, seventh day, never alternated, you know,
Yeah,
and but all of a sudden here about 2 or 3 months ago, came to me and he said, you know, he says I've been looking into this lunar Sabbatarian thing. He says I think they're right, you know, and I thought, my, he wouldn't go. He wouldn't go for what I was, you know, proclaiming, but he would go with something where there was 2 extra days uh, at the end of some months. Oh, it was crazy, you know. I just
it,
it's
no, I know,
sometimes
brother.
so frustrating.
No, it can be for real, and you know, all we can do is plant the seed sometimes, and it's especially difficult when it comes to calendars because everybody has some kind of different perspective on what they think is right.
Yeah,
And the reason I believe we found the right calendar is because of all the deep connections, you know, Marissa made in her presentation, that Miranda's going to make in hers coming up, and the connections I will be presenting as well. And that's what solidifies it for me. And nobody can convince me otherwise of it, truly. So
well,
I don't
this is
like to
where I'm
argue.
at. Hmm. This is where
Yeah,
I'm at as well. You know, I've been keeping a solar calendar for 12 years, and all that time until I came into this group, I thought I was doing it completely right. You know, and
yeah,
I was off. I was off because I was keeping, you know, the um first day of the year, month, and fourth day of the week, all on the equinox day, you know, on the vernal equinox
yeah,
day.
yeah,
And then I was keeping the fall feast on the autumnal equal day, the first of the seventh month, that way. So
yeah.
since I've been here, I've
Well,
learned that those were wrong, and uh, I knew something would happen eventually, even before I came to this group, that I was doing something wrong, and now I know what it has been. So I really thank Yahuah for bringing me to this group. Really do, because it has straightened me out in so many other things as well. Like I wasn't aware of these Noah days, and I never did count the months. I didn't count the 30, 30, 31 per season. So
yeah.
I have learned quite a bit about the calendar since I've been here.
All praise to the Most High Yahuwah. That's awesome. And that's how
Yes.
we used to
Hallelujah.
originally do it too,
Yeah.
just like that. Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, brother.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
But yeah, we used to observe it that same exact way. And honestly, it's what Marissa just said right there. Let me read it. It says, the moon represents the feminine and also the negative polarity. So the smaller or negative number in the Fibonacci sequence. As the moon traverses through the gates quicker than the sun, and is opposite the larger or the positive number in the sequence. And that's just it. The moon represents the feminine aspect, It's not a leader. It's not a determining factor. It's a supporting witness is what it is. And a lot of people misconstrue that. You know, they want to believe just because, oh, well, you know, the rabbis say this, the rabbis say that. Well, Judaism says this, and, you know, all the earth follows slivers of moons, you know, so it must be right. No, that's the deception of the Seleucid Empire's Babylonian calendar forced onto everybody. It was forced on the Greek. It was forced onto the Pharisees and Sadducees. The Greeks, therefore, you know, their calendar got adopted by the Romans after the Greeks. Then it was just tweaked and messed with a little bit here and there, and that's where we get our modern Gregorian calendar now. All based on these pagan, planetary, Seleucid Empire, Babylonian calendar style things. It just goes so deep.
By the way, I did buy one of your books for him as well, and I hope that the testimony of Paul in your book will somehow convince him. I don't know yet. I haven't heard from him in a while, but we'll see what happens.
I will be praying that a seed gets planted, and you know, hopefully he takes it into consideration and studies it out. You know.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate that truly.
Thank you.
And by the way, let's see, we got Heidi and Sumi joining in too. So Shabbat Shalom, sisters. Good to see you. And also, let's see, I know did I get a new mic and a camera? Well, actually, it's the same mic, and I've had this camera for years. I just finally decided hey, I should start showing my face, you know, representing our fellowship here. And it's good to put a face with a voice. I'm not doing it to scare anybody off with my face, by the way. But no, I'm just kidding. But yeah, no, thank you, sister. Oh, nice picture. In parts throughout the month, the photo periods of the moon are dependent on where the sun is relative to the moon's position. Exactly. I don't know if I have that video available on my computer, that is. I did make a little short on, let me see if I can actually get it real quick. Hold on. So I made a little short video on how that happens. Here it is. Hold on. Let me just download it real quick. It's like 2 minutes long. Should not take that long at all. And then perhaps I can share it here on screen. But yeah, so the moon's photo periods, or the phases of the moon as they're more known popularly as. My mic was all distorted. Yeah, honestly, I don't know what's up with that. I don't know why it was all distorted before and like breaking up and things. What I did, so I got one of those cans of air, and I basically opened up my computer and just so much dust came out of there. It's wild. But since I did that, it cleared out all the dust and it runs a lot better, smoother, faster. I haven't had distortions on my mic, things like that. But anyways, thank you, Sister Sumi, for mentioning that. But the moon's photo period, its phases, are determined on its correlation to its position on the sun. So when it's completely opposite end of the sun, that's when we're going to see a full moon. So when it's closer to the sun, that's when it's going to be what they call a new moon, or completely dark. And then as it transitions from full moon, it'll come around. You'll see the sliver coming up on this side towards the sun. Then it goes dark. Then you'll see the sliver coming on the other side in its position correlated to the sun. Let me see if I can get this video so I can just show you guys. Yeah, here we go. 1 second. Let me get it ready to go. Where are we? There we go. All right, so hopefully you all can see that pretty well, but I'll go ahead and mute my mic and just show you what I'm talking about here. The Fibonacci sequence numbers are the exact same number pattern that the photoperiod or moon phases of the moon follow, which when you break them down are 2, 3, 5, 8, and 13-year cycles. Also, the moon has 19-year cycles. So after 18 years, the 19th year is the last year's count, and it continues and repeats. So the math for that would be 13 plus 5, you get 18. The numbers in the Fibonacci sequence. The pre-C courses are 24 stations and 27.321 days. So roughly 28 days. Take the 4 from the 24 and the 7 from the 27, and you'll get 7 times 4. That's 28. The weekly rotations of the pre-C courses. The photoperiod of the moon bears the Fibonacci sequence because it's dancing with the sun. The phases are dependent on the sun and its position relative to the sun, as you can see. The 0, the divider day, is in the midst of the years, the head of days, and also a Fibonacci number, and it all connects to the calendar and the nature of everything. The 0 day allows for time to expand, and Yahuah put his fingerprint in everything he created. The sun, the moon, the stars, the plants and animals, us, and even the calendar itself.
Awesome. You're
You're
mute again.
muted.
You're mute.
I don't know why it does that. I literally unmuted it and then it muted itself again. That seems to be something with Telegram. Anyways, so as you can see visually, that's exactly what I'm talking about, how the moon's position on its course, its correlation to its position with the sun will determine the photoperiods of the moon, the phases of the moon. Thank you, Sister Marissa. Yeah, that's actually a clip I included on my video I uploaded to YouTube. It's actually the same video I'm planning to play for my presentation, but I just wanted to get it out there so others can look into it and study it as well. Sorry, I was just checking the chat there. So yeah, the connections are so very deep. This is why I truly believe we have the correct calendar. We're on the correct path. We have the witnesses of the sun, the moon, and the stars. You know, we have the scriptures to back it up. If it's Enoch, Jubilees, and the Dead Sea Scrolls, we don't have to toss one or the other or several out to try to make some word salad to make things fit. It all fits together. Anyways, very, very cool stuff. Very important and deep connections. It kicked you out, Natalie? I don't know why. That was not me. It shows you're still in here. Yeah, bad Telegram. No, at least it hasn't been doing like it did a couple weeks ago where it's just booting us all out. ending the recordings and things like that. Anyway, so yeah, that's really all I have to present about the importance of the nowadays. I know we're going to get more into it once the sun comes around. Actually, that'll be Yom Teruah. So that's actually a double one as well. But, what was I going to say? Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So, if anybody else has any questions or comments, if not, Marissa, if you are ready to take it away with music, there you go. Then. Exactly. We are ready. All right. Yeah. Awesome. Although I don't hear anything.
What? I'm waiting for you.
Oh, go ahead, Scissor. Take it away.
All right.
Yahuah is making time for me. You only get one shot, everything to lose. Yah, take me now, I'm broken and bruised. Can you save my soul, 'cause I need you, 'cause I need you. You only get one shot, everything to lose. Yah, take me now, I'm
Yahuah.
I'm so glad she likes that, Natalie. I like that song too. It's my favorite. Somebody's gonna have to learn the harmonica for it for me. I like low key bought my husband a harmonica and was like, "Hey, can you learn this?"
I was just about to cough, Bobby.
He's gonna have to just swoop in right in the background and start playing the harmonica part someday. It'll be great.
That would be awesome to see. He comes in like playing harmonica, stomping his feet, like
Right? Yeah, all the kids get on him as soon as he takes it out to even try. Okay, I kind of switched up my playlist because Jeremy played Waymaker at the beginning, so I added a different song instead of that one. I cast off all my anxiety at your feet. I release all my troubles at your feet. I surrender all my doubts and worries at your feet. Before you, oh Yahuah, I let go at your feet. To you belongs the glory, to you belongs the praise. I surrender my whole life to glorify your name. I desire nothing but only you, my King. If only you will let my soul rest at your feet. I worship you, oh Yahuah.
purify this life. Let only that which pleases you remain in your sight. Mend this broken spirit, make my heart anew, and crucify my flesh so only your will I will do. All-consuming fire, purify this life. Let only that which pleases you remain in your sight. Mend this broken spirit, make my heart anew, and crucify my flesh so only your will I will do. All-consuming fire, purify this life. Let only that which pleases you remain in your sight. Mend this broken spirit, make my heart anew, and crucify my flesh so only your will I will do. It's only your will I will do. To you belongs the glory, to you belongs the praise. I surrender my whole life to glorify your name. I desire nothing but only you, my King. If only you will let my soul rest. If only you will let my soul rest. If only you will let my soul rest at your feet.
Love it. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one.
Morning light across the window, peace before the day begins. Little voices in the kitchen, laughter drifting down the hall again. Every blessing feels like mercy, every breath the gift of grace. And somehow in the ordinary I can see your face. I feel you in my husband's warm embrace. I see you in the smile on my children's face. I hear you in the laughter of my best friend. I know you'll see me through again.
love it.
Thank you. All right, I got 2 more. I was reading Natalie's comment there. I should really just write a list down of like the names of the songs that I can play. So then I could be like, do you guys have any requests? And then you would have a list of them. My binder is overflowing though. I probably need a bigger one at this point. I try to pick 5 songs because I think that'll take me like 30 minutes to play. So I feel like that's a good amount of time. For behold, I create a new heavens and new earth, and the former things shall not be remembered. So be glad and rejoice forever in what I make. For behold, I make Jerusalem for rejoicing, and her people for gladness. It's mine too. I will rejoice in Jerusalem and be glad in all of my people, for there will no longer be heard in her the voice of weeping or the sound of crying. No longer will there be babies dying or old men who live so surely, for all shall live out their days. For behold, I create a new heavens and new earth, and the former things shall not be remembered. So be glad and rejoice forever in what I make. For behold, I make Jerusalem for rejoicing, and her people for gladness. They will all build houses, and they shall live in them, and they will plant vineyards and eat of their fruit. Never will they build houses and be invaded, nor will they plant and another eat their fruit. For as the lifetime
for they won't labor in vain, or bear children for calamity, for they are children of those blessed by Yahuah. And it will come to pass that before they call, I will answer. While they are still speaking, I will hear. For the wolf and the lamb will graze together, and the lion will eat straw like an ox, and dust will be the serpent's food, and they will do no evil or harm on my holy mountain. For behold, I create a new heavens and new earth, and the former things shall not be remembered. So be glad and rejoice forever in what I make. For behold, I make Jerusalem for rejoicing. For behold, I make Jerusalem for rejoicing, yeah, and her people for gladness.
Love it.
I just play that one a little bit slower than what the original is, but I really like it.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah. Evan, that'll have to be the encore. We'll see if my voice holds up after this one.
Grand earth has quaked before, moved by the sound of his voice. Seas that are shaken and stirred can be calmed and broken from my regard. Through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, it is well. Through it all, my eyes are on you, and it is well with me. Far be it from me to not believe, even when my eyes can't see. And this mountain that's in front of me will be thrown into the midst of the sea. Through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, it is waves and wind still know his name. So let go, my soul, and trust in him. The waves and wind still know his name. The waves and wind still know his name. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well with my soul. It is well. It is well with my soul. 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 It is well. It is well with my soul. Through it all, my eyes are on you. Through it all, it is well, yeah. Through it all, my eyes are on you, and it is well with me.
Love it.
Thank you. I like that song a lot. All right, I'll do Shema for our little brother here, Evan.
Yay.
Yay.
Shema Yasharel, Yahuah is our El. Shema Yasharel, Yahuah is one. with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Love him with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Yahuah is our El. Shema Yasharel. Yahuah is one. Love him with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. Love him with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might.
Love it. Thank you,
Thank you,
sister.
guys. Thank you for letting me play for you.
Thank you for playing. We appreciate it very much. We love your singing here, sister. So, yeah, Barak, Yahuah, all praise to the Most High. So, I think that's going to be it for our Head of the Fourth Month Fellowship, Head of Summer. Right around the corner, we got Sukkot coming up. Pretty excited, looking forward to all of that. And again, I wanted to remind everybody, so this coming Tuesday is going to be Sister Miranda's presentation, and she's got some pretty mind-blowing things to present, and she shared some with me. So looking forward to that. I pray to see all of you there as well. There's a lot of stuff to think and reflect on. Like I said, it's going to connect not only with Marissa's calendar presentation, but with the presentation that I'm going to be doing next Tuesday. Not this one coming up because it's Miranda, but next. Sorry, talking with my hands there. Anyways, it's going to connect a lot of dots, and hopefully, like I said before, it's going to be able to show others the reason why we believe this, back it up through scriptures and things like that. So very much looking forward to that. Looking forward to fellowshipping with each and every one of you. And yeah, much prayers, much love to you all. Thank you all for being here and just being part of the family, really. It means a whole lot. It really does. And Tuda to you as well. And sorry. Okay. All right. So, yeah, it's looking forward to all that. I pray you all have a Baruch rest of your days or evenings, wherever you're at. And I will be praying for each of you. And if each of you can also do the same in return, just be in prayer for me as well. And much love, Mishpaha. We will see you all on Tuesday for Shabbat. So shalom and blessings.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Yes.
shalom.
Shabbat shalom.